Hey everybody, Steve Prasbrowski here. Welcome to tip number 16 in the series from the book that was recently published from Fire Engineering Books and Videos, 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Examinations. So let's get going with tip number 16. As a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has a lot of great free information on there to help you and anybody else that you may know in the fire service that wants to be the best they can be regardless of their rank. So lots of great information there as well. And as a reminder, my book, 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam, is available off fireengineeringbooks.com, as well as my website, code3firetrain.com. In the green box below, there's also a 25% off tip that you may be able to use. And throughout the year, obviously, Fire Engineering Books and Videos has other specials. Sometimes they have 35% off. I've seen 35 is probably the highest I've seen, but sometimes 35% off, sometimes free shipping. Hey, check it out, do what you got to do, and hope it helps. So for those that watched the previous tip, number 15, we discussed creating and implementing your career roadmap and your action plan. In the previous tip, number 15, I gave you a sample, career development plan or personal development plan that you can use, that one that we use at the college for entry-level students, but can be used for anybody. So we discussed how to do that and set yourself up for success to basically establish those goals and objectives for the near future, medium future, and far future. So tip 16, pretty straightforward and simple, is once you create your roadmap, it doesn't end there, because if you just create your roadmap, boom, save, done. Well, that document is out of date as soon as you hit save. And as soon as you go, boom, done. So the key to anything, especially published items, meaning a document that you put a lot of time and effort into, no different than your department policies or procedures or anything else. Everything looks great the day it's published and looks good on paper there, but it's out of date that moment that you hit save. So the real key is the constant evaluation of the progress, because you could put together any list of goals and objectives, but if you're not monitoring those goals and objectives, if you're not paying attention to them, then you know what, they're out of date. And I think the key is it's great to have a plan to put together for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, but very rarely does a full plan ever come to fruition. I mean, there's forks in the road, there's roadblocks, there's deviations, there's curveballs thrown at you. I mean, heck, think about it. We're finishing up, and I say finishing up because I'm trying to be a glass half full person, optimism. We're finishing up a pandemic that has pretty much crippled the world starting in early 2021 and in early 2020, and here we are in 2021. Sorry, yeah, I can count. We're in 2021 right now as I film this, but we've had a pandemic kick the living shit out of us for the last year or so. Plus, we're on the home stretch with vaccinations being rolled out around the country. I think we're looking good, but we can't let our guard down. But again, my point is that 2 years ago, I never would have thought in hell we would have ever had to deal with a pandemic. And the pandemic has affected us in so many different ways. So imagine, again, you setting goals and objectives, whether it's career development, personal development, family goals, work goals. The pandemic probably derailed those quite quickly for whatever reason. So it's a good wake-up call. It sucks that we've had to go through this, but the point is that you've got to constantly evaluate the progress of your career roadmap and action plan, and not just evaluate it, but be able to sometimes realize, hey, you know what, this ain't working. I got to step back, or I got to just forget this. This is just not me. It's okay to do that. Sometimes you have to step back to step ahead, meaning stop what you're doing midstream and say, you know what, this is probably a waste of my time to be doing this, or you know what, this isn't going to get me anywhere. So let me finish off what I'm doing right here so I don't be a flake and just, bail on somebody or something I'm doing, but I'll graciously find my way to exit, and then I'll maybe veer over this direction. That's a good leader, someone that's able to be flexible and realize sometimes know when to throw in the towel, but also know when to not just throw in the towel, but realize, you know what, I left this out. I didn't know what I didn't know when I put this together, but now I realize, thanks to my mentors, my relationships, or maybe things I've read or heard about or seen, I realize I probably should be going in this path now. That's good. You can't be so set in stone that nope, not it's this way or nothing. It doesn't work that way. So constantly evaluate the progress for your career roadmap and action plan, because I think probably you can put all the plans on paper or in digital format, whatever you want to call it, all day long. But again, if you're not dusting them off, if you're not taking that binder off the shelf, dusting it off and realizing this ain't working, I got to try something differently, what's the use of putting the plan together? Think about it that way. So, hey, time flies. If you haven't figured out by now, you may not realize that when I was younger, when I was in my teens, God, I wanted to get to 18 years old. I wanted to get to be an adult. I wanted to get to my adult years so I could experience life. Shit, now at this point, it's like somebody slow the clock down, kick father time in the shins so he can just stop. I mean, again, you don't appreciate this until you get older, but time flies. And that's okay. Hey, I'm still alive. Good day. Time flies as we get older, so don't put off doing something today, because before you know it, you'll have other priorities or issues. I hear so many people when they get on the job, oh, well, I'll finish that degree, or I'll start that college degree down the road, or I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about preparing for whatever captain position. I'm going to wait another 10, 15 years. Well, think about it. When you usually get on the job, sometimes that's the best time to get things done, because maybe you're still single. Maybe you don't have a lot of commitments. Maybe you don't have a lot of irons in the fire. But as time goes by, you get married or a serious relationship, kids come out, priorities change. I get it, and then next thing you know, you find yourself halfway through your career, or even worse, 2/3 through your career, and you go, man, I love being a firefighter, but I want to be a captain. Well, great. But then if you haven't looked at your captain's requirements lately, you might, holy crap, I got to have a 2-year degree to take the captain's test. I got to have a state officer certification. That's going to take me years. That's the point. So I'm not saying promote fast. Usually nobody benefits by someone promoting fast through the ranks. That's not the point. But the whole point of this whole process that I'm trying to share with you is, in a perfect world, you know where you want to be a number of years out. I know there's exceptions, and you slowly but surely you build that foundation to get you there. So it's not just, oh crap, I got 3 years to retirement and I got to start preparing for captain. Good luck on that one. So hey, as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. And I seriously mean that, because for anyone that takes the time to watch these, uh, I know it's painful for me to watch myself and hear myself, and it's probably got to be painful for you too. But again, if you're picking out at least one good nugget from each of these, I'm doing my job. You may go one nugget, yeah, under promise, over deliver, versus the opposite. Most people over promise and under deliver, but one nugget's all I ask. And if I didn't give you one good nugget, hopefully you'll get 2 in the next episode. So, hey, until then, y'all take care, be safe, and we'll see you soon.